Good morning. I hereby declare the 66th Annual Business Meeting of the American Association for Respiratory Care to be in session. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Zoom. We are excited you decided to join us this morning. While I know none of us wanted to meet virtually, this unfortunately is our new reality. Just as you do everything possible to care for our patients inflicted with COVID-19, the AARC will continue to make decisions which will always put the safety and welfare of our members first. As a result, there was no decision to be made. We had to move the meeting to virtual and are confident this meeting and the upcoming AARC Congress 2020 Live will exceed your expectations. With that said, I would like to welcome our loyal AARC members who have attended our business meetings for years. And for our non-members who are checking us out for the first time, you are all welcome here. I would kindly ask that if you are not a presenter or an award winner, that you mute your microphone. Please allow me to first introduce you to your elected officers and guests who have assisted me in leading the association in 2020. First, I would like to introduce Sherry Tooley, President-elect. Dr. Brian Walsh, past president. Dr. Ellen Becker, parliamentarian. Cheryl Herr, vice president of internal affairs. Jacqueline Grimble, vice president of external affairs. Dr. Linda Goodfellow, secretary treasurer. Speaker of the House of Delegates, Terry Miller. AARC executive director, Thomas Kallstrom. Chair of the American Respiratory Care Foundation, Michael Amato, and Chair of the Board of Medical Advisors, Dr. Papadakis. Please greet your officers and guests with your applause. For our first report of the 2020 business meeting, I call Melanie McDonough of the Scrutinizing Committee to review the minutes from the 2019 annual business meeting held in New Orleans. Melanie?
Good morning. The Scrutinizing Committee has reviewed and corrected the minutes where necessary from the Association's 2019 annual business meeting held in New Orleans. We found them to be consistent with the bylaws and policies of the Association. Thank you.
I would now like to recognize the outstanding efforts for those board of directors officers whose terms are expiring. Like all previous presidents, it has been my honor to have worked closely with these outgoing members of the board of directors. Their dedication and commitment to the AARC is exemplary, and their contributions have been outstanding during what has been an incredible, difficult 2020. I am humbled to call them my colleagues, but most importantly, my friends. Please hold your applause until the individuals have been recognized. Dr. Brian Walsh, Dr. Linda Goodfellow, Dr. Tim Opholt, Dr. Lisa Trujillo, Jacqueline Grimble, and Dr. Peter Papadakis, and my trusted confidant and friend and advisor, my parliamentarian, Dr. Ellen Becker. Please join me in thanking these dedicated and unselfish individuals for their countless hours they have dedicated to the association. Next, I would like to call for the following reports. The annual report of the treasurer, Dr. Linda Goodfellow.
As of September 30th, 2020, the AARC is in good fiscal standing. The executive office and the board of directors continue to provide fiscally responsible leadership and oversight for the members of the organization. This includes quality educational program planning, advocacy for patients with lung disease, and persistently emphasizing the value of respiratory therapists at all levels of government. Revenues and expenses are both well under budget this year due to COVID-19. As many functions have moved to virtual platforms or were canceled altogether. Total membership is just over 45,000 members, which includes 41,000 active members. This is an increase from 2019. An increase of $7 to the AARC dues was approved by the Board of Directors, which will begin in the second quarter of 2021. This less than 4% increase is the first increase in dues since 2014. Thank you for the opportunity to serve as the Secretary Treasurer of the AARC for the past 2 years.
Annual report of the ARCF. Michael Amato.
Good morning. Well, the ARCF certainly has been busy over these past, well, what seems like a lifetime. Many of our fundraisings and activities have obviously changed due to COVID-19. We had certainly to cancel our fundraiser due to COVID-19, but the award ceremony will be held virtually in December of this year. I encourage you all virtually to attend that. In particular, I'd like to call out the Forrest M. Bird Lifetime Scientific Award, which this year will be awarded posthumously to Dr. Craig D. Smallwood. We also look forward to 2021, as I'm sure everyone else does, for our journal conference, which hopefully will be held in June of 2021 and focus on COPD. Also, we hope that the COVID pandemic is gone next year, as I'm sure each and every one of you do, so that we can all resume all of our activities, including our International Fellow Program at next year's Congress. In summary, the ARCF will continue in its quest to increase awareness of the foundation and to be successful in our mission of promoting respiratory health through the support, research, education, and patient-focused philanthropic activities in respiratory care. I also would like to take this opportunity to thank all of the members of the AARC that have supported the growth and prosperity of the foundation in my 31 years of board service and 27 years as chair. I have decided, because of personal and business activities that have changed in my life, that come January 1st, I will retire from the board and as the chair of the foundation. It has been my honor and my privilege to have served these 31 years for the foundation in conjunction with promoting the AARC. Thank you again.
The annual report of the Executive Director, Thomas Kallstrom.
Good morning. The AARC Executive Office has had a very busy year. And of course, COVID consumed a considerable portion of our time. In short time, we were able to work with our physician colleagues at SCCM, ATS, CHEST, and others. And as a result of the strength of being unified, we were able to get so many resources out to our members and non-members. I would encourage you to go to our website and look at the COVID resources page. Now, sadly, we've lost 23 respiratory therapists who were frontline workers of COVID. We will never forget them. And as such, we're giving their families $500. Doesn't matter if they're members or not, we are a respiratory therapy family. If you become aware of an RT lost to COVID, please reach out to the executive office and let us know. And as we look to the coming year, you can rest assured that the executive office will be there for you. Thank you.
Annual report from BOMA, Dr. Peter Papadakis.
Thank you so much. On behalf of all the BOMA members and their sponsoring organizations, I wish to thank all the respiratory therapists for their tireless work during the COVID-19 pandemic. This has been a very busy year for BOMA. BOMA supported the AARC with letters of support to the Surgeon General and various subcommittees of the COVID-19 task force. BOMA aided AARC with multiple organizations' protocols and guidelines. BOMA supported AARC leadership letters of support for the telehealth initiative. BOMA members also appeared on national and local media to support therapists in the battle of COVID-19. So again, on behalf of BOMA, I wish to thank all respiratory therapists for all the work that they do, taking care of our patients and making us safe.
Thank you. Our annual report of from the House of Delegates, Speaker of the House, Terry Miller.
Thank you, President Shell. It is my pleasure to give the membership an update on the activities of the House of Delegates. This year has brought many challenges to our profession with the onset of COVID. And as a result, we adjusted, assuring that the business of our affiliates continues moving forward. While it certainly brought us challenges and change, it has also brought new opportunities. And I truly believe 2020 should be called the year of the respiratory therapist. I am proud to report that our delegates forged ahead and held our first ever virtual summer and winter meetings, held countless virtual committee work sessions, and we even had our first electronic elections. I want you to see a wonderful view of dedicated respiratory therapists working for our profession. Here is a short list of many of the activities we've engaged in. A focus this year has been on strengthening our internal processes, as well as working on strengthening ways that we can strengthen our affiliates through sharing best practices, refining our affiliate resources, and reaching out to our RT leaders and managers, and continuing to engage our students, even in our virtual world. I'm proud to report that we had 24 students join us for our recent House meeting, hopefully planting the seeds for these future leaders of our profession. Just as COVID has impacted us all in every facet of our lives, it has put extreme stress on many of our affiliates as they work together to meet the needs of their members in the world without that same personal connection. Through surveys, we've identified some of the challenges and we have appointed a special committee on affiliate and pandemic impact. And this is in an effort to assure we continue to collaborate on answers for our affiliates and to give support when needed and as we can. Please let us know when you are what you're facing in your grassroots effort to reach out to your members. This is so very important to our profession, as strong affiliates equal a strong AARC, and we must work together to assure that we move steadily forward. This team, our delegates, officers, and liaison, I should say, work diligently to meet the needs of our members, and I want to thank the affiliates for supporting the AARC through providing dedicated delegates, giving them voice in your meetings in the affiliates, and working with them to share your ideas forward to the association. As a liaison body between our members and the AARC, this role of delegate has never been more vital to our success than now, as we are facing the challenges that we are. I want to thank President Shell and the board for their collaboration and the executive office team for their continued support and creativity. I'm proud to report that as we bring new House officers in, others are moving to positions on the board, and we wish them well in this role. Therefore, we do not have any outgoing officers. We do have some outgoing delegates, and to them, I wish to thank you for everything you've done on behalf of our profession. I would be remiss if I did not say a special thank you to our parliamentarian, Mr. Gary Kaufman, for his time, talent, and mentoring over the past 2 years. He certainly had his hands full dealing with me. As we look forward to our future, we have a wonderful leader in our new speaker, Joe Goss, and in our other officers that have joined our group. I look forward to working to support him and the House as we face our future together. It's been my honor and great pleasure to serve as Speaker these past few years, and I thank our delegates for being some of the very best and brightest our profession has to offer. Thank you so much. You make me so proud. Thank you.
Terry, thank you for your detailed report. The work of the House of Delegates has done this year in the face of the global pandemic has been nothing short of extraordinary. Terry, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to hand the mic back over to you to introduce the next few awards.
Thank you. One of the most enjoyable yet difficult tasks for the Speaker of the House of Delegates is choosing the recipient of the Jerry Bridgers Delegate of the Year Award. As the one who receives it must meet high standards representative of the man of whom this award was named. Jerry Bridgers is one of our legends in the House, as his commitment and dedication to the profession and our patients set him apart. His voice always told it like it was and guided many along the paths to being a better leader. Jerry left us too early in 2014, but his memory lives on. It is my pleasure to share that we have many in the House who would make Jerry really proud. However, one delegate stood out as particularly deserving of being Delegate of the Year. Passion, commitment, determination, leadership. These are words which describe not only this award's namesake, Jerry Bridgers, but also this year's recipient. Our recipient has long been a strong voice in the House, championing causes she has felt served her members and the patients. She's volunteered her time serving as co-chair on 4 House committees, giving untold hours to serve. She has demonstrated qualities expected of a delegate by representing her affiliate and given voice to their thoughts and needs. She's also asked hard questions and challenged others to give more. She is passionate about our profession and has a voice that would really make Jerry proud. It is my distinct pleasure to announce Teena Culhane, Delegate of Michigan, as the 2020 Jerry Bridgers Delegate of the Year. At AARC, I present to you Teena Culhane. Congratulations, Teena.
Thank you, Terry. Well, I have to say I'm still overwhelmed by learning of this during our House of Delegates meeting earlier this week. But I've had now a chance to process and think about what I'd really like to share with everyone. I'd like to start off by saying that it has been a true honor to serve as a delegate for Michigan over the past 4 years under the amazing, incredible guidance and leadership of Speaker Miller, past Speaker Siegel, and President Schell. I've left every single HOD meeting with a renewed sense of excitement for the future. And I can only hope that I've been able to bring a little bit of that same level of dedication, passion, love, and respect for our profession that the three of you have shown over these past few years. Thank you also to the House officers and for all of the other amazing delegates for fostering an environment where we can all share and learn from each other and continue to grow. This has truly been an amazing journey, and I've never thought I would have had this opportunity. I'd also just like to thank the MSRC for providing me with so many opportunities over the past 20 years. I look forward to meeting with the students in our state so that I can share with them all of the opportunities I've had and that they can hopefully have the same opportunities one day. So thank you for supporting our members in Michigan and our profession. And it'd be remiss of me to not share that I've actually had the honor and privilege of actually meeting Mr. Bridgers. About 12 years ago, we shared a very early morning breakfast together before our meetings on Capitol Hill during my very first trip to DC with PACT. At the same table, I was sitting with another AARC legend, Jim Taylor. He is truly the one who, during that morning breakfast with Mr. Bridgers, encouraged me to become more involved with the AARC. He said that his time that he spent serving the House of Delegates was truly the highlight of his career. And I may not be here sharing this moment with all of you if it weren't for him. So thank you, Jim. Lastly, I'd like to dedicate this award to the 23 therapists we lost during this pandemic. You are the true heroes and will never be forgotten. Thank you.
Next, we would like to present the prestigious 2020 AARC Summit Award and Outstanding Affiliate Contributor Awards. I'd like to ask Larry Inabit, AARC Chartered Affiliates Chair, to present the next award.
Thank you, President Schell. The Chartered Affiliates Committee chooses these two awards to recognize the work of our chartered affiliates. First, it gives me great pleasure to announce the winner of the 2020 Summit Award. This award recognizes an outstanding chartered affiliate of the AARC for work that exceeds and outperforms that of any other state. Our committee reviews all the activities of the chartered affiliates, and this year's winner came out on top for their work in serving members through education, service projects, and more. It is my pleasure to recognize the 2020 Summit Award winner, the South Carolina Society for Respiratory Care. Unfortunately, Dr. Jerry Elwine is not able to be with us, but he sent me some remarks, and I would like to read those remarks to you. On behalf of the South Carolina Society for Respiratory Care and all respiratory therapists in South Carolina, I graciously accept the 2020 Summit Award. As is well appreciated, these past few months have been a very difficult time for healthcare, and in particular, the respiratory therapist. All through it all, we have continued as a profession, thrived as individuals, and will forever be recognized as vital in the fight against the devastation that is COVID-19. To have been awarded the Summit Award, the diligence and commitment of our respiratory therapists has been recognized. They have endured a pandemic and remained consistent in their demand for exceptional care and the promotion of professionalism. This unique year that will be historically remembered as a time of great confusion, emotional turmoil, and unrelenting chaos that has allowed the profession of respiratory therapy to be a spotlight in a way as never before. Having the pleasure of serving as president of the SCSRC, I am humbled and thankful for the dedication of the respiratory therapists in the state of South Carolina. Accepting this award, I do so solely as president, but by no means the reason for this recognition. Sorry about that. I accept on behalf of the state of dedicated professionals that work each day for the care of the patients we serve, promotion of the profession of respiratory therapy, and the commitment to excellence. Again, thank you, AARC, and may each of you be blessed with a better day. I'd now like to recognize the Outstanding Affiliate Contributor Award. This award goes to an individual who has made a lasting contribution to their state society. While there are many AARC members across the country that are deserving, today we can only recognize one. This year's recipient was instrumental in getting licensure for respiratory therapists in North Carolina. He currently serves as the Executive Director for the North Carolina Licensure Board. He also served as a program director for over 16 years at a local community college. He worked to help establish the BSRT degree completion program at UNC Charlotte. He serves as the chair on the advisory board for the BSRT and MSRT programs at UNC Charlotte. Last year, he joined the MSRC program at Boise State University as an adjunct faculty member. He also serves as the advisory board chair for the degree advancement programs at Boise State. His dedication to education is evident by his work. I know him personally, and he is one of the most outstanding people I have ever met and a true mentor. Please join me in congratulating Dr. William Croft as this year's Outstanding Affiliate Contributor. Bill, if you'd like to say some words.
I was trying to unmute myself. Thank you, Lanny, for that. I appreciate it. I hope everyone can hear me. This is a tough award, I think, because there are so many deserving therapists out there and so many deserving leaders, and I'm truly humbled. I wanted to thank, though, the past president, Tricia Miller, as well as the North Carolina Society for Respiratory Care Board for nominating me for this award. Just to be nominated among everybody that's out there, because I've rubbed shoulders with many of you, and I know your leadership. It really humbles me, and I'm truly blessed that you would even consider me for this award, because it's not something that I would have expected. Alfred North Whitehead once said, "No one achieves success, does so without acknowledging the help of others." For this reason, I must thank also my executive assistant, Hannah Rosenblum, our board, the North Carolina Respiratory Care Board, and of course, my wife of 31 years. It's truly humbling to receive this, and I thank you very much. Thank you all.
Before we move on, there's one more award to be given out. And for that, I'll hand the microphone back to Terry.
Thank you, President Shell. In 2016, our profession lost one of its most dedicated, giving leaders far too early. Bill, or Billy Lamb, was a respiratory therapist who served as a manager by day, but one of our heroes all the time. Serving the Missouri Society for Respiratory Care, the House of Delegates, and on the board of AARC Board of Directors, he was well known for mentoring and encouraging others, a servant leader and a giver. At Bill's passing, the House designated an award in his name from the Volunteerism and Mentoring Committee, which he helped to found. This award is one which recognizes an individual who gives the same extra time to inspire others to achieve their inner strengths and passion towards the profession, and dedicates their time to others to enhance their quality of life. This year's recipient was nominated for his extraordinary commitment and service to others, a 35-plus year member of the AARC and the Louisiana Society for Respiratory Care. He's dedicatedly and diligently served his profession, but also our communities through asthma education, work with the American Lung Association, and demonstrating true commitment as a respiratory care professional through service. If anyone recalls the devastation Hurricane Katrina reaped on Louisiana, you likely remember hearing about an RT who went above and beyond in staying with his patients, and later, once evacuated, going to the local hospital and volunteering his time. This is our recipient. This is the type giver this year's recipient is. It is said he cannot say no to anyone in need, and for this, we are most thankful. Please join me in congratulating this year's Bill Lamb Community Service Award recipient, Mr. Jean Sachery. Congratulations and thank you. Jean?
I don't know if you can hear me. Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm very humbled to receive this award. I wish to thank the individuals who felt strongly enough to nominate me. I am truly, truly humbled. Lastly, I wish to thank the organization that gives me the spirit to do the things that I do. This is an organization that I joined over 20 years ago and continue to be active with. That is the Louisiana Pulmonary Disease Camp Incorporated. LPDCI puts on a summer camp for lung disease children, and that's where I got my start. And I just haven't stopped. As they said, I can't say no. Anyway, once again, I wish to thank everyone involved in nominating me. I'm truly humbled. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is unfinished business. After reviewing the minutes of the scrutinizing committee, I see there is no unfinished business from 2019 annual business meeting in New Orleans. And having been notified by the secretary that no member has requested any new business to be included in the agenda, there is none to be brought before you today. I now call for a report of the Elections Committee presented by Ms. Sheila Guthrie.
A count was made of the 2021 general election ballots for the AARC officers and directors at the AARC Executive Office in Irving, Texas on Tuesday, October 13th, 2020. The following is certified as the official count for officers of the association. Vice President, Internal Affairs, Cheryl Herr, 1,368 votes, or 56.2%. Dr. Tim Opholt, 1,059 votes, or 43.49%. Vice President, External Affairs, Jacqueline Grimble, 769 votes, or 31.6%. John Lindsay, 683 votes, or 28.1%. Dr. Georgiana Sergakis, 966 votes, or 39.7%. Secretary Treasurer, Dr. Aaron Light, 1,375 votes, or 57.3%. Stephen Siddick, 1,019 votes, or 42.4%. Directors at Large, Brian Psycho, 778 votes, or 31.7%. Caitlin Kopic, 1,219 votes, or 49.7%. Robert Delorme, 724 votes, or 29.5%. Dr. Dennis Guillot, 739 votes, or 30.1%. Carl Hinkson, 1,100 votes, or 44.84%. Keith Siegel, 836 votes, or 34.1%. Write-in candidates for Vice President of Internal Affairs received no more than one vote. Write-in candidates for Vice President of External Affairs received no more than one vote each. Write-in candidates for Director at Large received no more than one vote each. Ambulatory and post-acute care, Timothy Buckley, 76 votes, or 67.3%. Varadi Doshi, 36 votes, or 31.9%. Transport, John Eckrott, 38 votes, or 56.7%. Jennifer Watts, 28 votes, or 41.8%. Write-in candidates for ambulatory and post-acute care received no more than one write-in vote. Write-in candidates for transport received no more than one write-in vote. No other votes were cast and no complaints were received.
Thank you, Sheila. I hereby declare Dr. Aaron Light the duly elected Secretary Treasurer for a 2-year term. I hereby declare Dr. Georgiana Sergakis the duly elected Vice President of External Affairs for a 2-year term. I hereby declare Ms. Cheryl Herr the duly elected Vice President of Internal Affairs for a 2-year term. I hereby declare Mr. Carl Hinkson the duly elected Director at Large for a 3-year term. I hereby declare Mr. Keith Siegel the duly elected Director at Large for a 3-year term. I hereby declare Ms. Caitlin Kopic the duly elected Director at Large for a 3-year term. I hereby declare Mr. Timothy Buckley the duly elected Chair-elect of the Ambulatory and Post-Acute Care Section. I hereby declare Mr. John Ingrott the duly elected elect of the Transport Section. May I offer my congratulations to each of you. I now introduce to you my dear friend, Dr. Ellen Becker, my parliamentarian. Ellen will proceed with the installation of the 2020 Board of Directors and Advisors, Executive Committee, and officers of the House of Delegates. Ellen?
Thank you, President Shell. I now cause to be summoned before you, your Board of Directors, Executive Committees, and officers of the House of Delegates for 2021. Past President, AARC Board of Directors, Dr. Karen Shell. Vice President of Internal Affairs, Cheryl Herr. Vice President of External Affairs, Dr. Georgiana Sergakis. Secretary Treasurer, Dr. Aaron Light. Directors at Large for 1-year terms, Dana Evans, John Lindsay, Carrie Neville. Directors at Large for 2-year terms, Raymond Pisani and Carrie McNiven. Directors at Large for 3-year terms, Carl Hinkson, Keith Siegel, and Caitlin Kopic. Section Chair for Neonatal Pediatrics for a 2-year term, Bradley Couch. Section Chair for Leadership and Management, Kim Benyon. Section Chair for Adult Acute Care, a 3-year term, Maria Madden. Section Chair for Education, a 3-year term, Dr. Jennifer Anderson. Parliamentarian for the Board of Directors, John Wilgus. Speaker, House of Delegates, Joe Goss. Past Speaker, House of Delegates, Terry Miller. Speaker-elect, House of Delegates, Lanny Anabnett. Secretary, House of Delegates, Jody Jager. Treasurer, House of Delegates, Jim Lanaha. And Parliamentarian, House of Delegates, Kurt Merriman. Officers of the Board of Directors and House of Delegates and consultants, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly pledge
I do solemnly pledge
to faithfully uphold the bylaws of this association
to faithfully uphold the bylaws of this association
and to direct its activities with dignity and courage.
and to
Direct its
activities with dignity
and
courage,
Thoughtfulness and deliberation.
thoughtfulness
and deliberation.
I now declare you installed as the Board of Directors, advisors, executive officers, consultants, and House of Delegates officers of the American Association for Respiratory Care. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I now call for Dr. Karen Shell, our 2019-2020 president of the AARC. Karen?
Thank you, Ellen. Serving as your president over the last 2 years has been one of the most highlighting experiences of my careers. 2 years ago, I never dreamt that I would be a respiratory therapist leading our association. Who would have known after 40 years that I would be serving in this capacity? Many of you that are out there and part of this organization have been my mentor, my leaders that I've looked up to and learned a lot from. I hope that we can continue to grow this profession, continue to be there for our future leaders and mentor them up to a position that this organization deserves. And I also hope that when we look out about us, that we are blooming across the country with grace and dignity, and we promote this profession for the future. So one of my, I'd like to take this time, even though I'm no longer going to be serving as president, I won't be disappearing, but I wanted to take the time to thank everyone for their support. I also want to look to the future at our next new leader as president of the AARC. And I'm excited to have spent the last 2 years working with her in her position to move the profession forward. I admire her, and I hope that in the next 2 years you have the best and the most wonderful leader you could have. It gives me great pleasure to announce the installation of your incoming president of the American Association for Respiratory Care, my dear friend, Ms. Sherry Tooley, and she will be installed by John Wilgus.
Sherry Tooley, you have been elected by the membership of the AARC to serve as president of the association, and upon you rest responsibilities of leadership and administration. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly pledge
I do solemnly pledge
to faithfully uphold the bylaws of this association,
to faithfully uphold the bylaws of this association,
the policies and decisions of its board of directors,
the policies and decisions of its board of directors,
and to lead and plan constructively for the organization.
and to lead and plan constructively for the organization.
Sherry Tooley, I now declare you installed as president of the American Association for Respiratory Care. Please accept our support and congratulations.
Thank you. Karen, as incoming president of the association, and on behalf of the AARC Board of Directors, House of Delegates, and our 40,000 members, I'd like to say thank you for your leadership and guidance over the last 2 years. I truly do not know what I would have done without you really showing me the ropes and sharing all of your knowledge and visions with me so that we can continue to move our profession and our organization forward.
Thank you, Sherry. It's been one of my greatest honors of my career to serve the association as president, but your time is now. Ladies and gentlemen, delivering her 2021 presidential address, Ms. Sherry Tooley.
Thank you. So surely no one sitting here today thought that this is how we would all be meeting today. And I know that it is a very difficult time for not only respiratory therapists, but everyone in the country at this time. I can't thank you enough for joining us today. It really is the highlight of my career. And I thank you all for trusting our organization to me to lead for the next 2 years. I would be remiss if I did not thank a few of the individuals who helped me to get here today. I don't know if she's on the line today, but my very first respiratory instructor from my very first respiratory program in 1981 was Clara Lone. And I remember her instilling in us how important it was to be a member of your organization, how important it was to stay a member of your organization, how important it was to mentor everyone who follows you and show them what a wonderful profession we have. That is exactly what she has done for me over the last nearly 40 years. We remain friends today. And I can say that without her leadership and guidance over the years, I truly would not be here today. Of course, there are many, many other people who have helped me along the way, but she was probably the single largest influence in my respiratory career. So Claire, if you're out there, thank you. I'd also like to thank my husband, who has really supported me over the last several years in my role as executive committee member and then president-elect of this organization. He is my sounding board. He is my confidant. And he really is a very influential force for me, my voice of reason. And everyone who knows me knows that I need that from time to time. So Paul, if you're out there, thank you very much. I love you. And to all of you, what a wonderful organization that we have. Even in difficult times of pandemic, we've all made an effort to come together, to support each other, and to lift each other up. I can promise you that I will do my absolute best to continue to lead our organization in transparency, in communication, in the values that the Horizon goals that past President Dr. Brian Walsh started, Dr. Karen Schell continued, and those will be our focus for my next 2 years as well. We have made a tremendous amount of progress in our Horizon goals, but ladies and gentlemen, we still have a lot of work to do. And with all of your help, with all of our committee members, all of our board members, and all of our organizational liaisons, we will continue to do the work that needs to be done. We will continue to promote the profession of respiratory care and the respiratory therapist. This pandemic has really brought light to the respiratory therapist, but we all know there's still work to be done. We want respiratory therapy and respiratory therapist to be a household name. When you go to the grocery store, nobody ever says, what is a doctor? What is a nurse? But you may hear respiratory therapist, what is that? So we continue our goal and our quest to make respiratory therapist a household name and to make everyone know how important we are to the medical community and the healthcare. I thank you very much for this time today. I thank you for all of the work that you continue to do for our patients in this pandemic. And I pray that next year we'll all be together, shaking hands. Until we meet again, stay safe. I officially declare this year's annual business meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.